Okay, so here is what I originally attempted to take this rear middle brake light and smooth it out. And because, as you can see, it's curved, it's kind of hard to do. And what I found was the older Lincolns actually have a smooth or smoother center taillight. It is still made out of 3 pieces, but it is smooth, pretty much. So what I'm going to do with this one is I will rough this up, maybe fill in these gaps, I'm not sure. They don't line up quite perfect. You can see little gaps and this thing flexes, but it's pretty close. And I'll remove that little trim piece on the bottom, I guess, and that'll be smooth, and that'll go right there, and it'll be white. But I thought I was so clever. I thought, man, easy fix. I got it. I got this thing for about $60, so I figured, well, can't go wrong with that. Here's the problem. The back is not exactly the same. I mean, it's the same dimensions, and the bolt holes are going to be close enough to where I can line all this stuff up. However, if you see here, you've got this area kind of bulging out and this area. So this doesn't fit like perfectly well. I think I'm going to have to maybe make a little adjustment. I tried to test fit it already, and it's close. I mean, it wants to go in for sure. But this, like, you can see that this is sticking way further up than this. You can see like the height difference between the two components. So I'm going to have to trim this down, I guess. That's all I can do. And then it should fit no problem. But that's the cheapest, easiest solution I could come up with, because this is turning into an absolute disaster. Now, this one was already busted in the corner anyway, so I kind of didn't like the fact that it was already broken. I wasn't able to repair that light, so this thing was pretty much garbage anyway. I figured I could salvage it by filling it in, and the problem is I could probably get it pretty flat for the most part, but because it's curved, this way and this way, I just don't know how I can do that by hand and have it turn out even remotely, good enough. So, yeah, I figured these things would be practically identical on the backside. This is from an older Lincoln, so mine's a 97. I think this one's from a 94, I think. It's the previous generation of town car, and that's the ones with the slightly different headlights. They're the ones that they weren't kind of the clear see-through ones like mine have. They were the older style ones, kind of like the 80s style headlights. So yeah. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, there is a bit of a height difference between these two, for sure. Unfortunately, it's really not the same part, but it should be close enough to where I can make it work. So anyway, not quite as interchangeable as I had thought, but close enough to make it work.